Hi everyone, I'm Travis, and I'm here to talk to you today about my experience with relationships, dating, and autism spectrum disorder. And it's been a challenge. It's been a real challenge. So what happens for me is I'm very black and white, and I tend to categorize things. So this causes me to think of a friendship completely different than a relationship. And I do this from the very beginning. So from the start, when I say, "Hi, how are you? I'm Travis," and I shake your hand, in my brain, I'm already thinking, are you a friend or are you a girlfriend? And that's dangerous because most people take a long time to get to know each other and make that decision. But for me, I'm needing to make that decision right away so that I know how to interact with you. Because I didn't have a lot of basic training on relationships, I learned through peers misleading me and through Hollywood and through other things. And my interpretation of what I was learning was that romantic relationships are entirely different than friendships. And so that causes me to interact with girls differently than I would if I was just their friend, because I think it's an entirely different type of social relationship. And yes, it is. I'm not saying it's not a different type of social relationship, but it's not as different as I was making it out to be in my head. And it's not different from the beginning. And so what happened was I would need to, I'm very black and white and I need to categorize things. And the only difference that I could see growing up between a romantic relationship and a friendship was the physicalness. So if you were being physical with someone, that meant you were the boyfriend and girlfriend. But if you weren't being physical with someone, that meant you were just friends. Now, I know neurotypicals think that the differences in that in a relationship and a friendship is emotional related and connecting with each other and how you connect with each other. And that's true. But for me, it wasn't that way, and it was all purely physical. So basically, long story short, for me, it ended up being like if I was able to talk to the girl about touching her, that meant we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And if I wasn't talking about touching her, that meant we were just friends. Now, when I was 22 years old, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And a lot of people thought that, I had Asperger's syndrome, which I probably do. I think it's a clear-cut thing to say that I have Asperger's because I don't understand a lot of social cues and I have trouble with social relationships and things like that. But I've always had people tell me that I've got good social skills. People tell me that I've got impeccable social skills, which is really nice. It's a good compliment. But my social skills weren't working for me because I was using them in the wrong context. And so what happened was, I would get into these relationships or these friendships and relationships, and I need to label them right away. I would have to label them if I was a friend or a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. And to do that, I needed to talk to the girl about touching. So here's what I've learned. I've got good social skills when I'm not attracted to someone. But when I'm attracted to someone and want them to be my girlfriend, I've got terrible social skills. And that's and that's because I'm doing things backwards when I like someone. So for me, I think in my head, you have to tell the girl that you like her and let her know you're romantically attracted to her before you actually start getting to know her. Because I feel like you have to differentiate from the beginning if you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend versus being friends. So she knows that you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. The problem is you don't need to tell her that. You just need to be her friend. And I'm learning this now, and I'm having all these light bulb moments and all these breakthroughs socially because I'm able to focus on just getting to know people and not focus on letting them know that I'm attracted to them right away. And besides that's besides the point. Girls are very good at picking up on those cues. So even if I'm not telling her that I like her, chances are she knows that I'm attracted to her right away, and she knows that I'm interested in her. And so, I think it's important that we have to go to the basics and understanding what a friendship is versus what a romantic relationship is, because a lot of times your higher functioning, functioning is a bad word in autism. I hate the word functioning in autism, but your guys that are more verbal, your highly verbal guys, are going to understand how to socialize and have good social skills. They're not going to understand how to generalize and apply those social skills, and that's where ABA comes in and helping us generalize and apply those social skills. And so it's very important that we continue to, we have to teach how to generalize and apply. And so I start backwards. So I would be like, "Hi, how are you? I'm Travis. Can I touch your breast?" And that was obviously getting me nowhere. Like, girls were rejecting me left and right, telling me I was creepy, telling me I was weird. They'd feel unsafe around me because they think I just wanted to touch them, and yada, yada, yada. But the problem is I was doing that because I thought that's how you communicated interest. And that's not how you communicate interest at all. And so what I really needed to do was practice just having a normal conversation with a girl that I was attracted to. And how do you do that? Well, you talk to them just as if you'd talk to a friend or a parent or a therapist or a teacher. You get to know them. You ask them questions about themselves, and you find out about them and show you're interested in them. And I was having a hard time doing that because when I was attracted to the girl, it created all this extra anxiety. So not only did I misunderstand what I was supposed to do socially, but the anxiety drove that even further, and was a contingency that added to that made me come on too strong and talk about sex, basically. So long story short, I've always thought that when you are attracted to a woman and you wanted to date a woman, that you had to talk about sex with her to let her know that you were attracted to her. And that's just not the case, guys. You talk about everyday things with her, and you get to know her. And the problem is, like, what I was doing was I was making, in a typical relationship, romantic relationship, asking a girl to have sex or asking for consent to touch her should be the last step in a 1,000-step equation that goes from hi, how are you, to can I touch you. The problem is I was making that because I was doing it backwards, right? So I was making the consent part, I was asking the girl for permission to touch her from the very beginning. So I would be like, hi, how are you? I'm Travis. Can I touch you? Because I was wanting the consent right away, because I was wanting to let her know that I liked her and wanted to be in a relationship with her, and I wanted to date her. So I was doing that at step 2, and then I was going to go back and like double back and connect with her and like get to know her. But the problem is I'd already told her that I wanted to touch her, and then that made her think I was a creep, and she wasn't interested in getting to know me, and she didn't want me to get to know her. And I never had any relationships or friendships really blossom with a woman because of that. Now I've got one really good friend, and this really good friend has helped teach me about this friendship process and how to be friends first and stuff like that. And it's really helpful. Excuse me. But so I was doing it backwards, right? So what we want to do is we want to teach someone how to forward chain so that they can actually build a relationship instead of backward chaining. You never want to start with, hi, how are you? I'm Travis. Can I touch you? And then go back and like try and get to know someone. You want to start with getting to know them, and then like your last step in the 1,000-step equation is, can I touch you? So, yeah, so that's just a little bit about what's going on socially and what this talk is going to be about. And as we get into this talk, you know, we're going to learn more about how to relate to people and how to talk to people. So, thanks for watching this promo video, and I hope you book me for a presentation. Thanks so much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.